Hi, my name is Avery, and today I'll be discussing why texting and driving should be illegal in all states. On the afternoon of July 21st, 2015, a terrible tragedy took place in Becker, Minnesota. Carly Bolig was behind the wheel when she ran a red light at an intersection. On their way home from the library was Charles Marr and his 10-year-old daughter, Cassie. Bolig slammed into the side of Marr's car, and both Charles and Cassie died instantly. According to Minnesota State Patrol Officer Lieutenant Tiffany Schweigert, there is now clear evidence that Bolig was texting the moment that impact was made. Many of us know victims of texting and driving accidents, like Charles and Cassie. Carly will have to live the rest of her life knowing that one small decision caused so much pain in the lives of others. Stories like these happen all over the United States every single day, and when you pick up your phone while driving to send a text, you put yourself at risk of becoming one of these stories. Texting and driving should be illegal in all states, because one simple text message can keep someone distracted just long enough to cause serious harm in their lives and in other people's lives. Today, I'll be talking about the dangers of texting and driving. Let's start with one of the most prevalent reasons to not text and drive. A huge reason you should not text and drive is that texting distracts you from focusing on driving properly. According to a study conducted by the Center for Disease Control, or CDC, every day in the United States, approximately 9 people are killed and over 1,000 people are injured in car accidents involving a distracted driver. That's 3,285 people killed by distracted drivers every single year. If all states made texting and driving illegal, law enforcement could take better measures to prevent drivers from texting. In July 2014, New Mexico joined 41 other states to completely outlaw texting and driving. This new law in New Mexico allows for primary enforcement. Primary enforcement allows police officers to stop and ticket a driver solely for texting behind the wheel. These measures should be taken in every state. Other states that have made texting and driving illegal, like Florida, Ohio, and Nebraska, only have secondary enforcement limits. These limits can only allow officers to pull over drivers and ticket them if they catch them in another offense, such as speeding. This does do some good, but because texting often causes drivers to leave or not pay attention to the speed limit. But many drivers have become so good at texting and driving that it may not be noticeable. Let's discuss another prevailing reason to not text and drive. A lot of the time, when you are driving, there are other passengers in your vehicle, such as a friend or a sibling. Considering that they are allowing you to take them to their destination, they most likely trust you to keep them out of harm's way. When you look down at a text, you are breaking their trust and putting them in danger. According to BuySociety.org, you put your passengers at an even more significant risk of danger when on your cell phone than if you were under the influence of alcohol. They go on to state that drivers who are texting behind the wheel have a 23% higher chance of getting involved in a car accident. That is the equivalent of driving a car after consuming 4 beers. If you would not put yourself in the situation to be in a car with a drunk driver, then why would you, as a driver, put your passengers in the same danger by texting? Another reason to not text and drive that is not often considered is that distracted drivers not only put their passengers in danger, but they are also taking time away from enjoying sights around them as they drive. Smartphones are used for many great things and have brought us a long way since the 1990s, but they've become a way for people to keep themselves occupied constantly. Drivers are becoming distracted by their smartphones and missing once-in-a-lifetime opportunities to see great landmarks, places of interest, tourist attractions, etc., as well as putting others in danger. APECSEC.org says people who become accustomed to texting while driving find it much more difficult to associate with their peers without the use of a phone. As a result, the ability to enjoy life and carry on conversation in person is completely and totally diminished. People will never be able to carry on conversations and make new friends if they cannot survive a 5-minute drive without checking their phones. Those who believe that texting and driving should be legal argue that it has a great convenience factor, as opposed to waiting until the end of a trip to answer back a friend. However, if the matter is so important, it is not difficult to find a safe place to pull over on the side of the road or invest in hands-free technology for your vehicle. Convenience for one single person could bring so many consequences for themselves and others. In conclusion, texting and driving should be illegal in all 50 states to take a step towards preventing distracted driving accidents on U.S. highways. The next time that you are about to grab your phone while driving to answer a text, think about Charles and Cassie, and think about how Carly will have to deal with the consequences of her actions for the rest of her life. Distracted driving causes so many people to suffer the consequences of their own actions and the actions of others. These drivers can also miss so many wonders around them if they stop being allowed to be on their phones while driving. If primary enforcement instead of secondary enforcement of the texting and driving law is established in all 50 states, we could be well on our way to minimizing texting and driving related deaths greatly. Text messages can wait. One short period of 5 seconds that costs someone their life is something you can't get back. Making texting and driving illegal would make drivers think about the consequences of their actions and the long-term effects that texting and driving can have on their lives. If we minimize the number of deaths on U.S. highways by outlawing texting and driving, it will save a lot of pain and tragedy for many people. Thank you.